Hello, Latanya, Miss Coach Deloach. And I want to make this quick video, right? When do you need to add authorized trade lines to increase your credit score? Sometimes, people throw around buzz words or things to guarantee people that they can help them build a higher credit score. But there are just sometimes, or certain times rather, when that's applicable or when it applies to certain people. The only time you want to add authorized trade lines that will help boost your credit score, if the credit lines on the credit cards or department store cards or your debt to income, debt to ratio of your balance on an account or a loan is higher than 30%. So what I mean by that is, let's say I have a credit card and the credit limit on that credit card is $5,000, right? And I have a balance on that credit card for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $4,500. Well, if I had my balance at $1,500 or lower, then my ratio would be below 30% because 3 times 5 is 15. That's 1,500, right? So if you don't have that ratio, that 30% of above ratio on, where it tells you how much your balances are, then you don't need a trade line, because the only thing a trade line, the purpose of that is to give you an account, right, that's going to raise your credit limit. Let's say if you go apply for a jeweler's trade line card for a jewelry store or something, and it's $5,000 and then you have nothing on it, it's zero balance, right? So now that makes your debt ratio, utilization rate lower overall. So now I have a $5,000 card or trade line with zero balance, and that's going to help me offset this other $5,000 limit or loan that's maxed above 30%. So overall, my ratio, my utilization ratio of the loans and balances and how much the balances I'm carrying is lowered. If you don't have that problem, and I'm telling you, I have people that have credit scores starting with 4, 5, and 6, and they do not have those problems. That's not what's going to get them over the 700 or in the high 600s, right? Their only thing, sometimes, most of the time, these people, they don't have enough revolving debt or credit reporting to their credit account, meaning that they don't have a major card, a MasterCard, a Visa card, a secured card. They don't use credit cards. They don't use credit, right? They don't have a loan. Or they might just have installment debt reporting on their credit report, and they have no revolving. Installment means I have a car loan, or my rent is reporting, or my mortgage is reporting, but I don't. Hello, Clay. Hey, Clay, how you doing, classmate? You all logging in? Make sure that you hit like for me. And so a lot of times, different people, you think you have your credit report is in the 4 or 5 or low 600 because you need to add a trade line, and boom, it goes away. No, because if you do add a trade line, you have to make sure that it's a trade line that reports to all 3 bureaus, because you have 3 different credit reports, right? So the best trade line or the best credit card to add on is one that reports to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So you have to know what those cards are, and then you have to use them wisely. You don't want to go max them out. You don't want to go above 30%. Hello, Miss Johnson. Hello. And so it's different strategies. And then a lot of people ask me about Lexington Law. Lexington Law, if you want to spend $100 a month And for a slow process, that's fine. But hey, I fix and help, people's credit, and I charge by the job. And, I usually get results within 30 to 45 days. Now, some situations, but I do tell people to expect 90 days, but I usually deliver within 30 to 45, right? Just because it all depends on how fast the credit bureaus respond. And they have 30 days to respond. So if they respond on doing just the first things that I'm requesting to get done slower, sometimes they respond within 15 days. But if they max out their 30 days, then that's going to slow up the process. But the process is not going to be slowed on my part, right? It won't be on my part. It's just that, hey, I'm just waiting on the credit bureaus to update your name, your address, this, that, and that. Whenever they update that, then this will happen. And then it's also it's on your part, because I don't do all the work. You have to get paperwork notarized. You have to get driver's license, utility bills, for proof of residency, proof of verification, proof of identity. All of that information you have to provide to me. So it all depends on how fast you work with me. You work with me fast, you send me that information within 2 or 3 days. I mail it out within 2 or 3 days. Credit bureaus respond within 2 to 3 weeks, and we're rolling. But you're not waiting for the sake of waiting. You're waiting because you're waiting on someone to provide the information, and that person won't be me. Now, why am I so passionate about credit? Because I believe that people should use their credit to purchase assets and to build their cash flow. Now, a lot of people use their credit to purchase things that are liabilities. Liabilities are things that depreciate in value. Assets are things that appreciate in value. Liabilities is, I want to buy this car, and then they probably they may not can afford it. I won't say they may not can afford it. And now you're carpo, I call carpo, because now you're asking me to get that repo off. I would like for people to use their credit wisely, but that's not my decision. I teach you the law, and if you have some things illegal on your credit report, like bankruptcies that's reporting illegally, and it wasn't validated in correct the way, then, hey, you take advantage of the law of the Fair Credit Reporting Act not being executed the correct way, and you clean up your credit report. Now, what you do with your credit, that's your decision. But this is why I help people. It's gratifying for me when someone tells me I purchased my first home at a low interest rate, and then they come back to me and say, okay, Deloach, how can I pay this home off quicker than 30 years so I don't pay over $200,000, $300,000 of interest, rates on it? And then they begin to learn cash flow strategies as well. So, hey, have a great weekend. I'm signing off. If you want me to help you with your credit, you need to know where you are before I can take you where you want to go. So when I ask you to give me your credit report from Credit Check Total, or you tell me what is the best source that I can fix my credit myself, and I tell you the Credit Secrets book, you need to do that. You need to do that. But if you need my help and you don't have time to do it yourself, but just don't message me asking me questions. That's 5 or 10 minutes. I could be helping someone who really wants help. I'm signing off. Have a great weekend, Miss Coach Deloach.